Time magazine publishes a list of the 100 most influential people. Can you say that again? The 100 most influential people. I'm guessing you've probably seen a copy of this over the years. These are the people whose resourcefulness and resources has caught the attention of the world's eye. And every once in a while, you might actually see a young person or a teenager on that list. And I always found that when that happened, people seemed surprised. And then I recently found out that Time also publishes a list of the 100 most influential teens. And on that list, for one, are an Indonesian couple of sisters, Melati and Isabel Wishen, who orchestrated a recent beach cleanup in Bali. Now, imagine how much they might have picked up. Can you have any ideas about what they cleaned up in Bali? Anybody want to throw out a number? Oh, I heard something. Tons? Yes, it was 65 tons of waste. That is a huge job and a huge accomplishment. Now, why am I talking about this? Because both of our texts today, as disparate sounding as they are about influence. Yes, they deal with being sent, they deal with healing, they deal with mission. But I think at the heart of the lessons is the lesson is asking us about what influences each one of us. I find it interesting that here in church, in all the churches I serve, in children's sermons, in confirmation, in youth groups, our young people are encouraged and shown that they can make a difference in their lives and in the world. It's the church that tells them, that encourages them, it tells them that their thoughts and their ideas and their voices matter. And I think that we as adults can take a lesson from that because we're told this as well. And so let's look at our two lessons. In the Old Testament, we see different influences at work in the life of Naaman. There's a servant girl who is from Israel, and she spoke some wise words to Naaman's wife. She said he should seek out the prophet. So Naaman took the advice, but instead he went to a man of influence. He went to his king, who then wrote a letter to another king, who wrote a letter to an influential prophet. And so he thought he was going to the right places, the powers that be. But when Elisha's letter told him to wash in the Jordan, Naaman's arrogance had him storming off in a fit of temper, saying, "What's wrong with our rivers?" And once again, it was this unnamed servant girl and her other servants with her. She was secure in her faith, and she offered a voice of reason. I think she was also astute enough to play upon Naaman's perception of power when she said, "Well, if the prophet had commanded you to do something difficult, would you not have done it?" And so Naaman washes, and his skin becomes like that of a boy. I think the story is not so much about Naaman's healing, which is a big deal, but I think it's about this unnamed girl, and I think she belongs on that top 100 list. Now, the second lesson comes from Luke, where we find Jesus sending out 72 of his followers. They're to go out in pairs, but they're not supposed to take anything with them but their essentials, basically their clothes. And their mission is to bring a message of peace and of healing to all that they meet. Now, if we look at this, we realize that going out in pairs is a good thing, because if you go out in pairs, you can help each other. When you get discouraged or angry or homesick, the other one can lift you up and keep your spirits going. I think Jesus also knew that these pairs he sent out would meet with resistance. So, safety in numbers, right? He knew from the outset that he had set those society deems. Jesus came in the beginning, and he had come to set those that society deemed criminals free. He came to heal those who had been cast aside. He came to proclaim the year of the Lord's favor in an empire that didn't worship God, but Caesar. He knew that people were influenced by intimidation and fear in his world, and plenty of folks would resist his message, whether from fear or disbelief or self-interest. And so we have pairs of voices speaking up. And believe it or not, these pairs of people, simple voices, challenged the powers of their world. All of us, young and older alike, are sent out. And we're told to rely on the hospitality of others. And that makes us vulnerable. So often as a congregation, we think we have to offer the hospitality, we have to be the ones. But sometimes we have to be the receivers as well, and we have to be out there and allow ourselves to be vulnerable. And I think that that is why Jesus, in his wisdom, Jesus gives us each other. Because we are stronger when we stay together. And all of our welfare is linked to the welfare of each other. That's the definition, I think, of teamwork. And Jesus gave it to us. It's teamwork. Teamwork that's more than just getting a job done together, though. I think it's true, many hands make lighter work. But what if Jesus' idea of teamwork means that we all work and dream together of a more vibrant witness to our Christian faith? What if it means that we think about those things our congregation can do for our community, working together and dreaming together? What if it means that we think about things that we know we couldn't accomplish alone, but we might be able to do together? I think that those are the questions that are set before us. Thinking about what influences us in our lives and how we might influence others. So when we come to the table this morning, I invite you to remember that Jesus gives us the nourishment and the power, and most of all, Jesus gives us each other as resources. And Jesus gives us the resourcefulness to be the most influential people we can be, no matter our age.